just do stuff, right? Or if you try to do it and you think you're going to fail, that's okay too. And honestly, if you do fail, that's okay. Have fun with it. Like, this is the part of your life that is the perfect time to make mistakes. Be confident in your abilities. There's somebody out there who wants you. I'm thinking in a job. I mean, if you want the love life, then okay, that too. But like, you are good as you are right now. And because of that, go try stuff. If you've got an inkling of something you might want to do, go ahead and do it and put the fear somewhere else.
Welcome to Media in the Mix, the only podcast produced and hosted by the School of Communication at American University. Join us as we create a safe space to explore topics and communication at the intersection of social justice, tech, innovation, and pop culture.
Welcome back to Media in the Mix. I'm your host, Grace Ibrahim, and today we have a very special guest, someone who's been making big moves here at American University School of Communication. She's our fearless leader, a dedicated educator, and a champion for our students. So welcome, Dean Marnel Niles Goins.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being
I'm honored to have been invited.
Absolutely. And today is a very special episode because our production team behind the cameras are our students. Today, we're going to go a little bit beyond the title and get to know you on just a different level.
Okay.
So let's get started.
All right, I'm
Welcome
ready.
to the podcast. All right, so we just want to get a little start to you and kind of how you got your intro into the world of academia, communications. Did you have like a distinct memory that kind of launched you into this space?
There's some small memories I have when I was a kid of, I had two brothers who were really annoying. Right? I'm the only girl, middle child, and I found them to be particularly annoying probably every day.
Yep.
So I just retreat to my room and read, and a lot of the things that I did included like recreating teaching environments. So I was teaching or I was putting together lesson plans. It's just, that memory in my brain, that was like a place of peace for me, in addition to other things, right? Like, I would do carpentry with my dad or paint or draw, or, I created a newsletter, but all those things were often me in moments where I was teaching.
Yeah.
I did not directly think I was going to be an educator. A lot of folks in my family are educators, and so I shied away from it. But it was in moments where I needed a little bit of reprieve that I found myself doing some things that were related to education.
That's awesome.
But even still, I wanted to be an artist.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to be an artist.
Was there like a specific art that you were drawn to?
I love to paint. Okay. Even now, I don't have much time. I'll just be honest with you, right? But I love to paint, and so I did some like Moore College of Art when I was in high school. My art teacher was like, you should go to New York. And I don't know if most of our listeners know, my parents are not from the United States of America. They are from another country, and they were like, no. This art thing is that's cute, but this is
it
not.
Is it going to pay the bills?
This is not what you're going to be doing here. We came to this country for you to be some artist in New York. So they never actually gave me all the compliments that the art teachers they gave me, and so I ended up wanting to do graphic design.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In undergrad, but I went to a small college, and graphic design was in the communication department, and so it kind of went from there. I took a class in I think intercultural communication, and then another one in like public speaking. And then I was like, oh, graphic design, let's move on from that and think about comm theory.
That's awesome.
And that kind of paved the way.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
And then just in terms of now you're at SOC, what is there anything that drew you to the School of Communications? Anything that you found that you were like, I really want to be here?
Yes. Yeah. So it's interesting because before I was here, I was at another university in Arlington, Virginia. So not too far.
Yep.
Marymount University. And I was the dean of the College of Sciences and Humanities.
Okay, yeah.
So I had communication, but I also had biomedical engineering and mechanical engineering. We started those programs, and we were starting social work and the sciences and the humanities and so many programs. It was really, really quite wonderful. The faculty there and the students were phenomenal. And then I saw the job opening at AU for communication. I was like, I have not been with only comm scholars for a little while now. I am, at the time I was, I think, first vice president of the National Communication Association, and then president last year. Now I'm past president. And that's when I kind of got my comm thrill. But then I saw the job and I was like, let me just see. And then I went on the interview and everybody was wonderful. Everyone told the same story about SOC, from the president at the time to the provost to the students, the faculty, even the alums, about how wonderful SOC is and has always been. I was like, all right,
That's great.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt really
We're lucky to have you.
welcomed. Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. And then just in terms of that, it's been a few months now. You've kind of
Yes.
settled into the
Yeah.
role. What excites you about it? And then also, is there anything you're looking forward to doing?
Yes. So I'll say I got my master's and PhD in organizational and small group communication.
Yes.
And so my brain works in terms of like making sense of things. A lot of different things that, for many people, including my husband, he's like, you're doing too much. Like, I can't. This is too much. But the stuff that I do every day in this role fits with how my brain works.
Yeah.
So making sense of what the faculty are doing, what their scholarship is, the research that they're doing, the phenomenal students. That's one of the real thrills, like going to classes and talking to them and seeing them in the hallway and, say, what you doing? And did you get that project done? And while it's a lot of problem solving, it really fits with how I make sense of the world. And so coming in the office is fun.
Yeah.
Now, when I get home, my brain is exhausted, right? So everybody needs to act right at that point. But coming here, it's like, it's not a day where I feel as if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, even when there's some difficult decisions that need to be made, even when they're happy moments. It's all like, all right. Yeah.
That's great. That's apparent too. So
no, thank you.
We appreciate that. And then I'm going to throw in one fun question here, just in terms of like SOC. Do you have like a dream major you would add to SOC or a dream class?
So I am a nerd. I'll just say that. Like I told you that I studied organizational and small group communication, and my minor was math.
Yeah.
Like I have loved math from the time I was a kid.
Yeah.
My younger brother and I had a competition, like who was going to do better on the AP calculus exam. And I won. He's a math teacher right now, and I just want the world to know that I beat him. Now he's a year younger than me. So the classes that I think of are really a little nerdy, like because I can make sense of the world through like art and math and communication. It would be something related to like, the art of math, which would not fit in SOC at all, right? I mean, I guess I could make it fit, but that would be like, no one would take it. But I would just put together like all of my loves, like, math. So, give me a budget. I got you. Art, painting, and then something with comms. So if I could find a good way to put that together, that would be great. There would be no wait list though, because no one would be taking it.
In terms of production though, you'd be surprised how many numbers come up. Like it really is like allocating budgets and understanding that like we might run out of money, so we gotta we do that.
You gotta prioritize and make decisions.
It's a real thing. I was a math major when I first came to AU. I was.
Yes.
I didn't last very long.
Oh.
It didn't last very long.
Okay.
But I love math. It's that Mean Girls quote. It's the same in every country. I think that's very poetic and beautiful.
Right.
So
because to me, it's about sense making.
Yes.
Right. So with math, that's what it's about, like making sense of the numbers. With art, it's also for me like visually making sense of it. And I just never had to like separate the two. It was always like, all right, well, I'm really good at math. And I would have been a math major, but I wanted to graduate early. And I really love art. And so it was always like, even at home, like okay to love all those things.
Yeah, that's great. Actually, for me, I do remember it was statistics that made me.
Oh, it was?
I'm going to put that to the side.
Oh, no.
It was a tough one. It's a tough class.
I love that class.
You loved it?
Yes,
Really?
I did.
It was a tough one
My
for
first
me.
stats class was in grad school.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it.
Love that.
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay, so we're learning new things about you. I love that. So there is, and of course now we're going to kind of go into the realistic aspect of that, but as the new dean, do you have any initiatives that you plan to introduce at American University to kind of support the idea of diversity, inclusion? I know we're this year we are doing a lot of campaigns related to DEI, so is there anything there that...
Yes. So, it's really interesting. One of the things that drew me to American University was how the student body is represented. They're from so many different countries. They have so many different interests, and how the faculty support them. One of the struggles that we're having right now in terms of some of our community programs that we work with is that they're struggling as well financially.
Oh,
And
wow,
so
okay.
some of our community partners,
Mhm.
are like, yeah, we wish we could, but we don't have
Yeah.
the budget to be able to sustain
Mhm.
like opportunities for our students. So
Right.
one of my dreams is to really build that back up, and that would be more external facing and less
Okay.
internal. The faculty have, like, when I say brilliant, and staff, brilliant ideas of what we can do to bring in more students and bring in more revenue. And they're especially good at having the students network and have connections. The one thing that we are starting to struggle with is that these networks are starting to dry up, especially in the DC area.
Yeah.
Real estate is up. We don't have as many students going to college nowadays,
Yeah.
is what they're telling us. And then how people view communication, the
Yeah.
value of it for journalism, for film. The industry is changing. And
Yes.
so as it affects our community partners, it's going to affect the student experience. So if I could just like create this wonderful, exciting initiative, it would be something where we have this direct connection with our community partners,
Mhm.
because that is where our students learn how to be not just experts, but experts in the field.
Right.
Like yesterday, the Anacostia Film
Mhm.
Festival, we had
Yeah.
a showing of one of the films on campus, and it
Mhm.
was wonderful. It
Yeah.
was Run, Hope, Work was what the documentary. I'm sure I had that backwards. It might be Hope, Run, Work. You could look it up.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing how some of our SOC film and media arts students are working with these community groups, and that is how you learn how to care for other people.
Yes.
That is not just where you learn how to put the stuff that you've learned on campus in the
Mhm.
community, but it's also how you learn how to be a better person.
Yeah.
So when you're out here in 10 and 20 years and you're managers, like, that's how you learn how to treat people.
Yeah.
It's how you learn, how to deal with somebody who comes into work late. It's how you learn how, if somebody has a bad attitude,
Yeah.
it doesn't always mean you have to get an attitude back. It's how you learn how to have compassion.
Right.
And while you learn that here at AU, it's when you go out into the community and when you work with various groups that you learn how to be a real leader.
Yeah.
And also how you learn, in a sense, how to be led, because it doesn't mean that you go out there in a way where you're authoritarian and you're like,
Right.
yeah, I know how to run this. I've got this
Right.
AU education.
Right.
The people know more than we do often, and we've got to learn from
Yeah.
other folks in our community
Right.
as well. And so that would be my dream, if we could really solidify partnerships, if they weren't
Yeah.
going away as much, if they
Yeah.
could get the financial backing. But I will say the students are not short of opportunities. So even
Yeah.
with some of
Mhm.
that decreasing, the jobs that they're getting, the
Yeah.
internships they're getting,
Yeah.
the work that they're doing in our community groups is just something that I am in awe of,
Yeah.
frankly.
Sometimes they create their own opportunities
Yes,
too,
they
which is
do.
really, really
Yes.
impressive.
Yeah, and they'll stop me in the
it's-
hallway and
Yeah.
like, hey, I did this. I want
Yeah.
to show you. Somebody email it
Mhm.
to me. I will watch it during
Yeah,
lunch.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you did say something that I kind of want to touch on of, we're being told that not many kids are going to college nowadays.
Yes.
And I know with just technology continuing to advance and AI and all this
Yes.
stuff, there is this sense of, well, I can just teach myself. But
Yes.
do you have any insight onto kind of the importance of formal education and why that could, being in the classroom,
Yeah.
interacting with other peers and students,
Yes.
what's the importance of that?
Yes. I don't want to sound like, oh, I've been in academia for a long, I mean, I have, right? But there's also something we can learn from students
Right.
saying, hey, I can learn about this
Mhm.
online, and
Love
how we
that,
offer
yeah.
courses and what we're offering. But college is also about relationships. It's about the networking. It's about challenging yourself.
Yeah.
So I'll say one thing, like with social media, which is wonderful, but it shows you what you want to show.
Right.
And I'll give you an example. I'm from Philadelphia, so
Mhm.
by way of that I love the Eagles,
Yep.
right? And so when I am scrolling through, what's coming up is all Eagles clips,
Right.
Super Bowl highlights,
Mhm.
NFC Champions highlights, and I'm going to click on all of them. I'm going to like them.
Yeah.
What I'm not seeing is anything about the Chiefs.
Right.
Right? I'm not seeing anything about the Commanders. I'm not
Mhm.
seeing anything about the Rams. I'm seeing stuff about Philly,
Right.
and I'm liking it,
Yep.
and I'm happy.
Yeah.
But I'm also not challenging myself. I would have to be proactive
Mhm.
and go to like the Kansas City Chiefs social media pages for me to go there and to challenge myself, right? So in the age where we get to be surrounded by things
Mhm.
that will make us comfortable, the college environment teaches us how to be around things that make us uncomfortable,
Right.
how to understand different perspectives,
Mhm.
how to humanize people, how to not be angry
Yeah.
when, like you are on social media, you can get angry really quickly, right? If,
Yeah.
and you see the worst of people.
Yeah.
But that's not what real life is like. It teaches you how to disagree
Right.
being in college. It teaches you how to advocate for yourself if you get a grade you don't love,
Yeah.
but also how to get someone to, really mentor you in a way that is beyond something you can get online. And so I'll say the experiences of a college setting cannot be replicated by taking like a class when you're by yourself online. And the other thing I'll say is many times we've got skills and talents that sometimes other people see and we don't. And online, you're doing, you're watching a YouTube video, which is wonderful, right?
Yep.
If I'm trying to figure out what to do with this toilet, I can be a, any kind of person who studies how to fix toilets, I think, right? And at the same time, if I'm saying, hey, Marnel, you've got this skill, you should really hone in on this. Yeah. That's not something that I would necessarily know myself unless someone told me, Marnel, you'd be a great artist.
Right.
You're really good at math. If it was just me, I'd be online looking at carpentry or how to fix toilets or whatever, and I'd be good at it. Yeah. But there's some skills that other people might see and can pour into you that you need to be in a college environment for that to happen.
You can also learn from.
You can also learn from it.
Yeah.
And then also there's a whole aspect of living in a dorm. That's how you learn how to do somebody else's hair.
That's
okay?
I
mean, like I remember, dyeing my roommate's hair.
Yeah.
How can you have that experience at home? Messing up her hair when I tried to cut it. There were some disasters that happened in college that you need to get that experience and fail. Yeah. It's not until you, try to cut one of your friends' hair and you just, she had to do a hat for a little while and, but now I know that that's not a skill that I have.
Yep. We were talking about the other day. I had my college roommate pierce both my ears. So
in
it's
college?
like, yes.
It was the
second one. It was the one up here. It was okay. To her credit, she did great.
See?
It was fine.
Exactly.
But it's, it is true. It's things like that like really to build character a little bit.
It builds character. In college, that's how you learn how to fail.
Yeah.
Like at home, when I'm doing stuff that I feel comfortable with.
Yes.
And in college, you have to fail. You have to succeed at things you never thought you would.
Get out of your comfort zone.
Get out of your comfort zone. And then just, have a little fun.
Yeah. That's so true. And I have another fun follow-up question to this.
All right.
If you could go back and give your college self a piece of advice, what would that be?
Well, how folks have like recurring nightmares?
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you, this is why my recurring nightmare is that I failed a math class.
Oh, no.
It is
really do
so
love
bad.
Okay.
I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyway, my college self, I might say, go ahead and do that major. Like, don't graduate early. Maybe just go ahead and major in math. And that should be fun, right? I should have a fun piece of advice from me, but it's really like, why not be a double major? You don't need to graduate
I love that.
early.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I told you I'm a nerd. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. That's great. And then obviously just on the idea of what we're doing today, this experiential learning opportunity.
Yes.
What's your advice for SOC students on that note? Just how to get involved? Is there anything just as Dean that you kind of want to get the message out there about?
One of the things, as I mentioned, I have two brothers, right? And so one of the things, having two brothers and parents from another country, I just didn't have fear that was not my first emotion. Okay. So my suggestion is to try new things and just like do it. Like I remember when I was like, you know what? I want to learn how to ride a motorcycle. Right. And then I got my motorcycle license. And
did you really?
I did. I absolutely
awesome.
Don't ask me if I know how to do it now.
Awesome.
But it was like, just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And then, there's another time where there was this job opening at the FBI for a special agent. And I applied. I did all the, polygraph, all the tests.
Awesome.
I got it. I did. I was like, should I be a special agent? Anyway, the point is, just do stuff, right?
Yeah.
If you expect to do it, or if you try to do it and you think you're going to fail, that's okay too. Yeah. And honestly, if you do fail, that's okay. Have fun with it.
Right.
Like this is the part of your life that is the perfect time to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Right. You could try it. You could fail. It cannot work out. Try something else. That doesn't work out. Try something else. Be confident in your abilities. There's somebody out there who wants you. I'm thinking in a job, but I mean, if you want the love life, then okay, that too.
Yeah.
But like you are good as you are right now. And because of that, go try stuff. If you've got
Yeah.
an inkling of something you might want to do,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and do it,
That's
and
awesome.
put the fear somewhere else.
Yeah.
Do it scared. And
I do like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you
Yeah.
fail, like that's just a wonderful opportunity for you to keep trying. Not to put football lingo, but look at, Jalen Hurts. We played the Chiefs a couple
Yeah,
years ago.
I was going to ask you about the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He, we didn't win, and he came back and did it again. Or look at any sports analogy,
Right.
any life analogy, and you
Right.
can see, like, do it scared, do it nervous.
Yeah.
Go out in the community, make some big changes.
Yeah.
And learn from it. That's the whole point of this life.
That's
Is
true.
to learn
That's
and
true.
to become better humans.
I
You
didn't
can't do it if you do it when you're comfortable.
Right. I didn't realize that until I was a little bit older, kind of giving back and teaching.
Yes.
I realized I teach more from my failures than I do my success.
Exactly.
Because there's so much more to teach there
Yes.
than there is
Yes.
when it's like everything goes great and it's
Yes.
like, all right, cool.
If everything was great, then we would be horrible humans.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
I would be the worst. If life was perfect, I don't even know if I would be
That is
here
a-
right now. I'd be
very good
somewhere in
point.
Fiji.
Yeah.
I'm too good for this, right? But that's what the
Yeah.
failures are, teaching
Yeah.
you how to,
Yeah.
humanize people and how to
Yes.
care for people.
Yes, and to your point about being in the classroom, being surrounded by your peers, I feel
Yes.
like it kind of teaches you the idea of you just never be the smartest one in the room. Kind of
Right.
like, there's a bunch
Exactly.
of minds, put them together. We
Yes.
said that today. We were like, let's use all of our minds and put them
Yes.
together and,
Yes.
riff off each other. And it's,
And honestly, that's what being a dean is. It's leading, but it's not commanding people based on, like my brilliance. I don't know everything, right? The faculty know, the staff know, the students know, society, the trends that are going on. It's my job to be aware of it and to make sense of it and to lead it. But I'm not the smartest one in the room.
I love that. That's great advice. I want to do some fun questions here
Okay.
towards the end.
Okay,
We
well, I'm
have,
trying not to be a nerd. All right, let's
Well,
do this.
first of all, congratulations on the Super Bowl win.
Thank you
That's
very
really
much. I worked
exciting.
really hard to get us there, and so I am grateful to all of the people who supported me as we
Oh,
won.
that's
Yes.
awesome. Did you do anything fun for it? Did you have a little Super Bowl party? Or
No. So, okay, my family, as
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned, born in Philly. My parents are from another country, Barbados and Jamaica. But I watched it at home.
Yeah.
Because I need to watch it in peace.
That's
Like I don't need
yeah.
disruptions. I don't need, so my family, my husband and my kids were there, and I need some silence.
Yeah.
And then on the family chat,
Yeah,
yes,
I'm sure
we
it's like-
had a
yeah.
conversation. yes. I really had a good time that day. I wore a jersey the next day to work.
Oh, I guess
Yeah, I had a blazer over it, so I did
great.
look professional.
I love that.
And
I feel like the day after Super Bowl, it should be a pass. It's a good
I
one.
thought about wearing the
Yeah.
jersey every day.
Yeah.
And then I thought that might be a little overkill.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. We would have given it to you. It's okay. We have a fun question here, actually.
Okay.
But if you could trade places with any Eagles player for a day, who would that be?
Is it during football season?
Sure,
Or is
yeah.
this during now that I have the money and I'm going on vacation?
Oh, that's a good point.
Like whose
to that
contract do I want, or
question.
whose physical play do I want to engage in?
Both.
Okay, well, I would probably say Jalen Hurts
Okay.
if it was not football season,
Okay,
because
okay.
he has a big contract, and so I would be on vacation.
Okay, I love it.
Right now.
Not
with-
here doing this episode.
Well, I would zoom in. But if I were a player, maybe Micah Becton, big ticket, because he's huge and he has a 1-year contract. And he just, he got released from the Jets recently, and just his picture of him and his son enjoying the Super Bowl was great. Plus, he's just big, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, knock people down. And that seems
Yeah.
like that would be fun.
That's awesome.
To knock
yeah.
people down.
Yeah, just like
Yes, not in McKinley, right? So I just want to put that out there. This would be on a football field.
this is strictly for football.
Strictly
everyone.
football.
Just wanna highlight that. Oh, that's awesome. So your love for sneakers.
Oh, yes.
That's a thing I feel like everyone should know about.
I do love
You love
sneakers.
sneakers.
Yes.
How did
yes.
that get started? Was it just like you just were like, this is comfortable, but also fashion forward, and I want to keep going with it?
A little bit, yeah,
Okay.
because I remember going sneaker shopping with my dad. And so in middle school and high school, I loved sneakers.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe I took a break, or maybe I didn't. I remember in college too, I would wear a lot of different sneakers. And then there was a point where I was like, you know what, I just want to wear sneakers.
Yeah.
And when I was a professor, you can dress down. But
Yeah.
once I became a dean, was like, oh, wait, I've got to
Yeah.
dress up.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
did for a little bit. And then I realized, okay, I can actually wear some Jordans with this suit.
Yeah.
So I would start to do that. The
Look
one thing
great
I
doing
will
it,
say
yeah.
that most people don't know is that I had 2 hip replacements. Yeah, so 2020 I had a hip replacement, and in 2022
my
I had the other one.
gosh.
So I also could really use that as a great excuse
Yeah.
to say, oh man, I'm unable to wear these
I
high
need
heels.
sneakers.
I've got to
Yeah.
get another pair of, dunks or something like
That's
that,
all.
just because, it's
Well,
my
yeah.
accommodation.
I was gonna say, what's a fun fact about you that most people don't know? I guess it's the 2 hip replacements.
I know I've got 2 hip
That's not really a
replacements.
fun fact,
It's
but
not, but
it's a fact.
when I'm going through like security, they are very judgy.
Yeah.
Okay, because I do remember going through one time and I heard the person ask an elderly woman in front of me, like, do you have any joint replacements? And this is at the airport. And she was like, no, I'm okay. And then she saw me. She's like, come on through. I was like, you have any questions you might want to ask me? She was like, no, you're too young for that. And I was like, golly. I was like, actually, you should probably ask. And then she kicked me out the line. I had to go to another line.
TSA stuff.
I know, TSA, get it together.
That's
So
hilarious.
that's a, fun fact.
yeah.
Though, if I've got a cane or a walker, like after the surgery, people are super nice.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Yeah. So that was
They
that
should
was
be.
great.
I feel
Yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess back to the sneakers.
Yes.
If you could only wear one pair of sneakers,
Yeah.
which ones would they be?
So Jordan 1s are most comfortable for
Okay.
me. And I would probably wear my mochas. Yeah. Yes. But then those are also like one of my favorites. So I try not to wear them all the time.
Right,
because I want to
right.
keep them pristine.
Yeah,
But if I had to
Yeah.
wear one every day, yeah, they're comfortable.
That's like the problem with new sneakers. Is
Yes.
I'm always like, I just want to look at them, but then
Yes, you
I
have to
also want to
wear
wear
them
them. Yeah.
and then take a break and forget
Yes,
about them.
yes.
And then, say,
And
oh,
then,
wait.
yeah. I have
maybe
these in the
6 months.
closet.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Love that. And then, what's the last TV show you binge watched?
Does not include football, or does it?
I mean, it could. It could.
Because the last time I watched the Super Bowl was, I think, Monday.
Wow.
count.
Okay.
And the last time I watched highlights
Yeah.
was last night.
Oh, wow.
So you had to do different highlights, right?
Yeah.
You got to do, Eagles, Chiefs, and then you got to, if you want to go back, you could do Eagles, Commanders, and then you can go back a little bit more, and Eagles,
Yeah.
Rams.
Yeah.
Right. And so it depends on what I'm feeling. Because the other thing I'll say, I've got 3 kids, so they're young. They're 11, 9, and 7. So when I'm watching stuff, I tend to have to watch it and then like pause.
Yeah.
So I need to do something with, it's low stakes,
Yes.
something that I know
Yes.
the ending to, something that I can
right,
watch
right.
in like 5-minute increments, because even after they're in bed, are they really asleep? No, they're not. But
Yeah.
but I'll say that some of the shows that what did I recently finish watching? Harlem. I'm doing The Recruit.
I love The Recruit. I just finished that one.
You
yeah.
did?
Mhm.
Okay.
So good.
I think I finished, and then Night Agent. I'm
Night
doing
Agent,
that
I
too.
also just finished that one.
And so the
It's so
problem
good.
is, I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, didn't this just happen? And I
Yeah,
got the
this
2
is-
characters completely confused, which is, I needed
Yeah,
a week
yeah.
in between.
Yes.
Because right now I'm doing the Night Agent, and I'm like, wait, I thought he was dating the person in Korea.
I feel
and then
you.
I'm like, wait,
yes.
no,
I
that's a
know.
different show.
I know. They are kind of on parallel like storylines and stuff. So I'm always like, okay.
Yes.
That didn't happen in that show. It happened in the other show.
Right. And because
Yeah.
they're like, for me, low stakes, like
Yeah.
I've been in one episode of Night Agent for like 3 days. I'm
Yeah.
like, let me do 5 minutes of
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
and
yeah.
then,
I know.
if they die, okay. If they don't, also.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I have a problem staying awake too. I'm
There's-
always like, just
There's that.
it's bad. Is it just football, or are you a fan of other sports?
Well, I do love basketball, and I'll say that, okay, this is gonna make me sound like so sad. In 2001,
Yeah.
it was the it's the Eagles. It was the Sixers Lakers
Okay.
in the NBA Finals.
Mhm.
And game 1, we won game 1. We lost the rest of the games, and like I remember that, feeling so hopeful and happy. And I remember hating Tyronn Lue. I don't know if you remember that. Just look it up. Okay, I just remember, and that was back in the Iverson days. But then
Yeah.
we lost. We lost, and my heart was crushed. Everybody in Philly, Philly fans are terrible, but wonderful, right? And everybody in Philly was so sad. And I just said at that moment, I need to take a little bit of a break
Wow.
from
Okay.
basketball.
Yeah.
I can't do sadness in multiple sports.
Right.
Like this is just really
Right.
affecting
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah.
So I took a break from basketball. So I'll watch basketball now.
Mhm.
I've done the guest coaching for the AU men's
Oh,
basketball.
we saw that. How was that?
It was
by the
great.
way?
And I was like, let me not be Philly,
That's awesome.
right now.
Yeah.
So let me be, Dean Marnel in this moment. Let me not bring back 2001.
Yeah.
And so I still love basketball, but I don't watch it like I did back then because I just needed one sport to be sad about or happy about because there's too much going on.
It really takes a lot out of you.
Yes, that was a bad feeling. That was a bad feeling, which is,
I do want to hear a little bit more about how the guest coaching went with our basketball team.
It was
so
amazing.
What did you get to do, and how was that?
Yeah, so Dwayne Simpkins is the coach. He's really wonderful. And then Christy Plongersville, who is one of the assistant deans, came with me. So every time it's something athletics, I'm like, let's go, Christy, we're doing this. So we got there, we got to watch them warm up on the court. We got to go into the locker room for the pregame speech, during halftime, the postgame speech, as well as like get into every huddle.
Yeah.
And so we were warned, like, we huddle a lot. There are a lot of timeouts. You can go into any huddle you want, or you can sit and relax.
Yeah.
Christy and I, every huddle, like y'all getting up, we're getting up too. We in this.
Awesome.
I was like, yeah, go team.
That's awesome.
And then they even invited us to eat after. I was like, we have to go. Like we've been here for hours. We've got another dinner. My outfit was in the office, and we had the Athletics Hall of Fame dinner.
Wow.
With honoring, our new athletes inducted into the Hall of Fame. And so it was really wonderful.
That's
So now I feel like I know them.
Yeah,
I'm screaming
that's so
in the
fun.
crowd, and I'm like, okay, let's just calm down, Marnell. Let's, take the Philly, let's put the Philly to the side and chill out. But it was really quite fun.
That's
we had
so
a good
fun.
time.
I know, I saw the pictures of it and I was like, that looks like a good time.
It was.
Like,
It was
awesome.
courtside seats.
Yeah,
like you're right there with the team.
So fun.
Yeah,
That's so fun.
the coaches, they are really inspirational. They've got to tell them not just, fix what you're doing, but also to do it in a way where the players will be inspired.
Yeah.
And I was very thrilled to be there.
One last question here to wrap it up, just on our sports talk.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite sports movie?
Well, okay, so Philly. I guess we've got to go with Rocky.
Okay.
Does that tell you how old I am? Like the Rocky steps. So Rocky 1
still holds till this day,
Rocky 1 through 4. Yes.
That's
the new
awesome.
ones, I know like Michael B. Jordan is in them,
Yeah.
and like everybody loves him.
Yeah.
But the original Rocky, Adrian.
There's something to it.
There's something to it.
Yeah.
There really, really is. Which is also why when another team who is in opposition of any Philly team, they usually come to Philly and they'll put like their scarf or their hat on like the Rocky statue in front of the art museum. And we know that if you do that, you're going to lose. That's like the curse
Really?
on the team. Yes.
That's
So we got a joke about that. So anyway, if you have not seen Rocky, which you should have, you should watch them all and binge watch it. Yes, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you can just, take a pause and watch them all over again in another week.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Dean Marnel. This has been wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
I hope everyone learned a fun fact or two. And we can't wait to see what you do at School of Communication.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here and to be with you and the rest of the SOC faculty and staff, and of course, the students.
Thank you so much. Look out for our next episode of Media in the Mix. If you'd like to donate to the School of Communication, go to giving.american.edu, and we'll see you next time. That's a wrap.